Hi, welcome to Arts and Crafts for You. My name is Gina and today I'm going to show you how to make a flower pin cushion from a recycled tuna can. And this is the can and this is the flower pin cushion. So this pin cushion that we'll be making today, it's divided into sections where you're going to write the size of the needles of your sewing machine. I made this pin cushion because often when I'm sewing, I have to switch needles for different fabrics, and then I have to put it back in a little container. And sometimes when I go back to use it, I don't know which one was the new one or which one was the used one. So with this, the ones that I'm using, that I'm already using, I put it here, and as you see, I actually marked the sizes. There's some embroidery ones, quilting, whatever I'm doing, and then I can switch it back. Another reason that I really like it is because I actually used a tuna can. I recycle a tuna can from my kitchen, and it's a good idea instead of throwing them out. And I really like because they are really hard. Another thing sometimes that happens when we use different pin cushions that we buy in the store, they don't have a hard area in the bottom, and the pins sometimes poke right through and you end up poking yourself. Like this, they're nice and high, all your pins, so I'm just going to show you some of the ones that from the store. As you see, look, they're very small, and the pins, they come right through and you end up hurting yourself. Like this, they're nice and high, and there's no chances of hurting yourself. So, and you're not even limited in making just this size. You can use a smaller can, doesn't even have to be tuna, it can be anything. And like I made this one with the smaller one, as you see, and you can make different ones, one for pins, one for your needles, just put them around the sewing room because they look really pretty. They add so much color into your sewing room. So since if you would like to make one of these, right now I'm going to just give you a list of the materials that I used to make it, and we can get started. So I'm going to put these away, all my materials. So your first thing that you're going to need is a can. Then you're going to need a glue gun. You're going to need sewing thread, some scissors, ribbon to do your decorations. There's a different type of ribbon that you can use. I use it for my bow. A marking pen, like you can use either a permanent or even a fabric pen that you can buy in your fabric store. And you also will need two different types of fabric. So I use this one, and I used the kind of cream for my base. And I also used a little bit of felt for the bottom of my pin cushion. And then you're also going to need polyester fill for the inside of the pin cushion. So first step, what you're going to do, you're going to cut circles. So this project is really based into circles. So I'm going to get my material for the middle of the flower, and I need to cut a circle of 8.5 inches. So here I'm using I don't have a circle that wide, so I'm just using a plastic lid that I had sitting around, but you can use like a plate, anything that's that has that dimension or those measurements. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna get a marking pen, and in this case you can even use a pencil because the pencil, you're gonna cut it right on the line, so you're not gonna see it. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna trace it. When you're done tracing it, you're gonna cut it all around the line. I already have one here done, so I'm gonna put this material away. So I already have my circle here cut. So, and now what I need to do is get my needle and thread. So I'm gonna get a bigger thread, and you need to double your thread or use maybe a thicker thread, something that's used for upholstery. It's really good because you're gonna have to pull and you don't want that to break on you. But if you don't have that type of thread, what do? You just use double your thread. You know, in my case here, let me just put the thread through the needle. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I have my thread. I'm gonna do a knot in the end of the thread, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna baste this around my circle. And normally it's very simple, it's just in and out. So up, and you go down, up, down, up. So I'm right at the end now. So what I'm gonna do is, you're gonna need your polyester fill, and you're gonna put it in, and you're gonna pull your string. Keep pulling it, making sure the polyester fill stays inside. What I'm going to do here, the part that I had the knot, I'm actually gonna pull it also. It's the part that I did the knot. So I'm gonna actually pull both strings so I can actually do a knot here. Okay, let's see. It's moving. So you gonna do a knot. Really tight, the best you can, or if you need some help from somebody else to do that. Okay, I don't need it. Okay, just fix it up a little bit. And you're good, you don't need to close it all the way through. You can leave it a little bit like that because we're gonna glue this upside down. So now what we're gonna do, I'm going to divide that into quarters. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the middle, and it's gonna come through the middle here on the back, and I'm gonna pull. Okay. Pull a little bit, then you can go again through the middle, from the middle here, and depend how many sections do you want. I'm just going to do a few because what I'm going to use here is I'm going to write this one here. I'm going to use for my sewing needles, and I'm going to use what size needle here in each slot. So when I'm changing needles in my sewing machine, I don't have to keep putting it under a case. I can just put them here, and I know if I have a size 14 or a size 12. So I'm going to do another one there. So again, always through the middle. Pull. And there. So now I'm gonna just secure the back. So I'm just gonna go here, give a bit of a knot. And there you are. So okay, after you've done this part, we're gonna start working on the petals. I'm gonna put that to the side. For the petals, you're gonna need 9 circles of 5 inches. I actually printed a circle online, and I already have one here. That's what I'm going to be using. I had cut in a different fabric, so I'm just going to use this as my template. But you can definitely print a circle online. And so you're going to put it in your fabric. And I think you would need about 25 by 12. And what you're going to do, you're going to trace your circles. So you're going to trace it all the way around on your circle, and then you're going to cut it. I already have mine all cut, so I'm just going to start basting. So again, I'm going to need a strong thread or a double thread in your needle, and again you're going to do a knot in the bottom, and we're going to start working on the petals. So what I'm going to do to make the petals, I'm going to fold in half and fold in half again, and I'm going to end up with a triangle. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do again the same thing, baste all the way around the raw edge of your fabric. So you gotta do this to 9 circles, so you end up with your petals. Okay, got 9. So you have your 9 flowers. You're going to join it, and you open your petals a little bit. You don't want them too closed, because this has to fit in there. So I think I'm pretty good. So I'm just gonna secure it in place. Put my needle through again. And do a knot. And I'm gonna cut it. Okay. After you've done that, you're gonna get your glue gun, and you're gonna put some glue on the petals. If you were a kid or a child, and you should ask an adult to help you with this, because you can get burned. You're gonna get your top of your flower. You're gonna try to aim it so you're not right in the middle, and you're gonna hold it down a little bit. You can have a look here. Make sure it gets nice and secure. And you're halfway there. Okay, now we're gonna start with your can. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna cut a piece of fabric. So I'm gonna measure the width of my can, and I have to give a little bit extra fabric to fold, and a little bit on the bottom also to fold. So, and I'll see what I have here. I have about 2.5 inches. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold that. I'm gonna fold my fabric. I'm gonna measure 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches. I'm gonna do another marking there. I'm gonna cut. That. And again, doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna glue it on the can. So I'm just gonna trim this off. I'm gonna go here and take the paper off my can. And I get my fabric. I put it more or less right in the middle. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna put some glue here in my beginning. Got something for my fabric there. Your glue dries very fast on metal, so you really got to work fast. Okay, so okay, so now I need to put glue on the inside and fold. A little bit more and fold. Okay, and I'm actually going to do the same in the bottom because I'm going to glue a circle in the bottom to cover this afterwards. That part is done. Okay. I'm gonna get my ribbon now. I'm gonna get my ribbon. And I'm gonna put a little bit of glue there again. My ribbon down. And I'm actually gonna put a little bit here. I'm gonna get a little piece of green ribbon. And just gonna do a little bow, make a little bow. just gonna glue it there. A little bit of glue on the bowl. And if you really want, you can even add a button. So you've done your button. So you're gonna get some felt and we're gonna trace a circle so we can cover the bottom of the can. So I'm just gonna draw the bottom here. So I cover all this fabric. Okay, my circle is done. Now I just need to glue that on. Okay, pretty good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put hot glue. And put that there. There you go. And you have a better finish. Okay. So I'm just gonna trim a little bit around. So I don't want to see any of my felt. We're good now? So now we have to attach the top into the can. So on the same thing, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add glue on the inside here. And a little bit close to the top. You're gonna get your top and you're gonna put it on and press down. Fix your petals. You gotta hold it down so you can, the glue will set. If there's any areas that you see that needs a little bit more glue, just put it on. Now all you have to do is write the size here of your needle. I'm just going to go ahead and write it, and I'll be right back. So as you see, I use a permanent marker and I wrote sizes in all the divisions that I made on the flower, and that represents the needles that I'm using in the machine. And you can use either a permanent marker or a fabric marker, and they come in different colors. You can find them in fabric stores. I normally mark the ones that I use the most, because sometimes when you keep changing needles, you don't want to go back and forth and into the packages and taking one you don't know if you used that already, because I don't know if you know, but a needle is only good to sew for about 8 hours. So if I put in my packages mixed with my new ones, I don't know if I used it already. As like this, if I have them here in my pin cushion, I know I've been using them already, so that these ones will be the first ones that I'm going to throw out after I'm done with them. I also mark my quilting needles, my embroidery needles, for stretchy fabrics, and it's up to you to pick the ones that you use the most and do all your divisions. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.